Well, happy Thursday, everyone. And here is my lowest of the low tech uh, image here that I'm showing you. This is a photograph of a screenshot of a PowerPoint presentation uh, that I'm getting ready to, that I'm preparing right now. I want to, let's just blow it up here full. There we go. Actually, this is sort of an abbreviated image of the temple of the sun as set up or as mounted for Crowley's Rite of Sol, one of the rites of Eleusis. And actually, there's behind the veil and behind a black curtain behind that veil is a red cross, okay? And that red cross will eventually be unveiled, and the sun will be eventually find itself crucified on that cross. But I'm giving it away. Spoiler. But for most of the rite, the sun god himself is seated silently before that black veil behind which is that red cross. And then before him is another veil. So it's like a shrine, okay? It's a cool shrine. And there are two guardians in front of Aries and Leo are the guardians. And what I got there is a picture of the assassination of Hiram Abiff from the Masonic myth. Hiram Abiff, the master builder, is murdered by three ruffians, but in a bizarre way, he is resurrected and lives forever, kind of thing. Anyway, why am I showing you this? I don't know if I'll be able to successfully tie all this together. As a Thelemite, okay, I'm not just a magician, okay, I'm not just a Facebook buffoon. I am those things. But as a Thelemite, okay, and as Thelemites, we don't have something that traditional religions do have, okay? And that is sort of an artificial fantasy, unrealistic fairy tale wonder story myth that we can childishly or with childlike believe in for our comfort. Okay. We don't have the stated assurance that if we believe in a certain way, we won't, when we die, we won't go to some place of eternal pain and punishment. Okay, we don't have that. And we don't have the reassurance that our deity historically did something that no other human being could do. And because of that miracle, we are somehow, if we believe in that miracle, we're somehow set apart and above our fellow human beings. We don't have that. And what we do have is a major holy book, the Book of the Law, which no one Thelemite cannot presume to interpret it for another. Okay, we don't have the luxury of Thelemic preachers to tell us what we think or to tell us what our holy book means. We don't have that. And what we do have is seeming paradoxes in the divine communication that is or in our holy book. Okay, we've got a holy book of 3 chapters, uh, two of which have much in common with the technical wisdom, like Vedanta or the mystical teachings or Buddhism. Okay, much like that. And then we've got this 3rd chapter in the book that is over the top. It's beautiful, but it's over the top, seemingly violent and vengeful and bloodthirsty and describing, in a sense, the world situation today, the monstrous world situation today. It seemingly is describing people's attitudes as if you would take a shot of the evening news with Gaza and now Lebanon and the Ukraine and Sudan and Burma. Take a picture of that and say, okay, make me a god that represents all of that. And pretty much that 3rd chapter would be how AI would create the deity of that. But through all of that, there is something else going on. Now, in that same 3rd chapter, it says something like this. No, it says this. Okay. And it comforts us. This is what we get for comfort. Fear not. Fear neither men, nor fates, nor gods, nor anything. Money, fear not, nor laughter of the folk folly, nor any other power in heaven, or upon the earth, or under the earth. Nu is your refuge. Hadit is your light. And I am the strength, force, and vigor of your arms. Now that's good advice, I guess. But right in the very next verse, it says, mercy let be off, damn them who pity, kill and torture, spare not, be upon them. Now, what the fuck am I being counseled to do here? Or am I being counseled at all? Is this the necessary dynamics that accompanies the changing of aeons from time immemorial? Now, I'm going to digress for a second. And I'm going to bring up the Crowley's Rite of Saul. Okay. Now, we're probably all at least somewhat familiar with Crowley's Rites of Eleusis. Each rite is dedicated to one of the seven planetary spheres and the Greco-Roman style god that's associated with that sphere. Starting with Saturn, Bina, and descending in Tree of Life order down the Tree of Life down to Luna, the last planetary sphere in number 9. Each rite begins with the god or goddess at the zenith of its glory. It starts out with the god at the zenith, okay, having a great old time. Then the rite proceeds to tell the story of how the deity falls or is supplanted to make way for the god of the next sphere to follow. Now, in Kabbalah and in mysticism, it appears when we look at a diagram of the Book of the Law that would seemingly be a descent, that 7 is lower than 6 and 6 is lower than 5. Well, yes, it is. But everything is coming and going at the same time. And not only that, well, anyway, when you get to the bottom, you see that the surface is what's inside. Okay. In the case of the rite of the sun, or the rite of Sol, the characters of the play are the solar-friendly zodiac signs of Aries and Leo. Okay, that's why I had this up there. They're Aries and Leo. So those are 2 officers. Now we've got the all other officer who sits silently behind the veil, all dressed up like the sun. Okay. Let's see. Characters of the play are the solar-friendly zodiac signs of Aries and Leo, who serve as guardians of the temple of the sun. 3 ruffians who will eventually kill the sun god. The fact that this assassination is a perfectly natural and necessary sacrifice, and the sun's totally okay with this, so don't worry too much like, oh, assassination. No, you want existence to continue to exist? No, this is part of the drill, folks. Okay. The fact that this assassination is a perfectly natural and necessary sacrifice, and the sun is totally cool with this whole thing, is made clear in the rite later, if you're paying attention. This, of course, is the classic seasonal allegory of the summer sun in its glory, mortally wounded by the celestial turning of the wheel of the year. Okay, we've got Scorpio. Okay, Apophis. The Egyptian Osiris-Set assassination story with Isis and Nephthys involved, yada, yada, yada. Masons will instantly recognize this story, the death and resurrection of Hiram Abiff. The 3 ruffians in Crowley's story are Scorpio Apophis, Satan Typhon, and Bez. Okay. Bez is that little squatty dwarf-like, almost comic relief Nubian Pan-like character, and all of the rites have sort of a Capricornian. Sometimes they're actually called Capricornus emissarius, and a Pan-like wild card that runs through all of the rites, and finally is unveiled as Pan at the very end. Oh, spoiler. I really didn't intend this digression to be so long. because I want to talk about an important piece of the action of this tale, uh, as it might relate to what do I, as an individual, what can I do among all of this killing and torturing and madness and violence and vengeance? What what do I do? Do I join a Thelemic militia? I don't think so. I don't think the Thelemic group of anything is almost an oxymoron. Okay. Um, but I think that the story here, or this piece of the story, is relative. Uh, Here's the scene. It's almost sunset, and Aries and Leo are guarding the shrine of the sun and waiting to see if any pilgrims are coming to make sacrifice. And the dialogue between the two as they're arguing over if they should shut the shrine down early today is one of the few moments of comic relief in any of these rites. It's precious, actually. Um, they're waiting to see if any pilgrims are coming to make sacrifice. Okay. All of a sudden, three very suspicious looking characters show up and say they want to sacrifice. Uh, but they look really dodgy. Okay. And they act really suspicious. So Leo and Aries turn them away. You know, you can't come in here with shoes like that, you know. But after they go away and they sort of unsettle the the attitudes of Aries and Leo, they sort of go, "Oh God, well, that was that. That creeped me out. That's a bad omen. I, I hear, I hear other bad omens in nature here." So they're disturbed. They sense something weird's going on here. And then all of a sudden, the Scorpio, the character that plays Scorpio Apophis, who is, as we will see, she returns in a filmy white robe, her hair in disorder. Scorpio Apophis. Okay. Now Aries gets up and says, "Hail thou! Whence comest thou?" And she answers, "The house of God is fallen. There is nothing left therein. Therefore, I bring nothing but myself." Leo has an idea. Okay, you want to sacrifice yourself? I got an idea. Okay, so he says, let's burn her on the altar of burnt offering. Standard procedure, okay? But it's fire. Okay. Ah, but she wisely answers, "But in the fire my tears would be dried up, and these tears are mine offering to the Lord." Then Leo has a great idea about a water type sacrifice. Well, the tears, well, I got a water idea here. Let us throw her to the sacred crocodile. But she answers, "But in the water my heart would be chilled, and this heart is of mine offering to the Lord. Now, Leo chimes in. He's got an idea of a way to sacrifice her to the air. Okay. Let us throw her to the winds from the watchtowers of silence. But she's got an answer to that one, too. But in the winds, my hymns would not be heard, and these hymns are mine offering to the Lord. Okay, they got one element. Notice we're going the four elements here. Really below the abyss stuff, okay? One element left. Leo suggests, let us bury her in the fucking consecrated mountain. I threw in the fucking, okay. Scorpio Apophis puts an end to this. To all these petty sacrifice ideas. Her worship is going to be necessary, destructive, and as Shiva-y as it is, it's necessary. It's part of the dynamics. She answers about being buried in the fucking consecrated mountain, but in the earth, the climax of the descent into matter. But in the earth, the worms would devour my flesh, and this flesh is of mine offering to the Lord. Remember what I said about a moment ago? That when you hit rock bottom, what's on the surface is what essentially it is. You're looking at God in matter itself. Don't even have to try to look any deeper. What you're looking at is it. But anyway, I sort of digress. But in the earth the worms would devour my flesh, and this flesh is of mine offering to the Lord. And then she not screams, but she stops talking to these two jerks. These two solar-friendly, well-intended jerks, thinking that they can guard the sun from this. And she speaks directly to the veil behind them and said, O Lord, let thy servants return to their thrones, that I may worship ye as I will. And then at that statement, the sun god from behind the veil knocks loudly 6 times, 6, the number of the sun, to signal the guards to let Scorpio Apophis into the shrine to join him. And they part the shrine just enough to let her enter and seemingly fall at his feet to worship. Now, usually the sun god is in golden nemes, and our son usually played that or did for several years. And then their poetry goes on and things like that. And then they think something, the rest of the other ruffians come in bearing a coffin. Okay, and that freaks out Leo and Aries, and they fall down, and the veil is rent, and you can see the sun crucified. Okay, I won't spoil the whole thing to you, But the idea is, and the most important line in the whole thing, and in my opinion, the most important advice a Thelemite can give to themselves in how to act, how to behave, how to survive, in this time and place is the house of God is fallen. There's nothing left therein. Therefore, I bring nothing but myself. So go with that. Look at yourself in the mirror. It's all on the surface. It's you. Okay. That's it for today. I've got a busy day ahead with, well, I got a lot of writing and stuff to do. I also have something I enjoy doing very much. I'm reading somebody's tarot cards over the Facebook thing here. So until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.